Yo, this Bub Styles, Cold Cut King of the fucking city. I got my two little fucking compatriots with me and shit like that. You watching the fucking Cabbages podcast. You're listening to it probably. And, you know what I mean? We just reviewed Cliffhanger. And there was nothing that we didn't fucking tackle. No cliffhangers about it. So, fuck your mother.
Hey there, Jeff.
Hi, Gary.
Before we get to...
How are you, Gary? Are you good? Are you doing
well? I'm not doing...
You're not well? What's going on?
I'm not doing great.
What? You're not well? Should we even continue?
Before we talk about Cliffhanger, because that's what we're talking about today, Sylvester Stallone's Cliffhanger. What is the deal with weather in this movie? Sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's not snowing.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Like I don't like.
Okay,
are you freezing to death? Are you not?
Did you get the map that I sent you? Did you get the thing that I sent you? I don't know if it's a map or but it's a.
I got your little.
It's
diagram.
a picture description. You know what I mean? Of what of why the weather is different on one side, the vegetation is different on one side and the other. There's a
you
light
said to
and
me
dark
like 3
at play.
fucking times.
There's a light and dark at play, and then there's also a windward side and a leeward side.
No.
This
is too much. This is too much. I can't keep up.
Because the prevailing winds, Gary, prevailing winds.
No,
we're
just going to go to the
in on the windward side, and then what's happening?
No. We're going to go. We got BUB STYLES today. BUB STYLES is with us.
No, BUB STYLES. So, don't tell them that. What if we were going to leave it as a cliffhanger? What if we were going to be like, oh, well, there's no episode?
They saw it in the title card
for a few minutes, and that's it.
They saw us in the title card. Like, it's called BUB STYLES on Cliffhanger.
Part 2.
What do you fucking want from me? We'll be right back. Do you have any idea who we have with us on today's show? It's the cold cut king of New York himself. That's right.
I thought you were asking me.
The one and only BUB STYLES is here. Born and raised Brooklyn rapper. I got to big you up. It's one of the busiest operating within our city limits, and the quality of that product is pristine. Back in April, he dropped the 5th installment of his Outerwear Season series of projects, with features by Pro Dillinger, Plaza, and more. You can cop that right now wherever music is streamed or sold. Oh, and in case you were unaware, he also happens to be one of the minds behind Chinatown Sound, the platform showcasing amazing independent and underground rap talent in freestyle mode. Definitely a video series you need to know about. Check it out on Instagram, check it out on YouTube. It's one of my favorite things to come across. All right. Hello, man. Welcome to the show.
Fucking thank you for having me, man. Come on. Gary, yo, listen, man, yo, you've been a long time supporter, man. Like back when I was doing much less than I'm doing now. You know what I mean? You were the first people like kind of in the media to recognize me. So I'm always remember that, bro.
No, honestly, like as I've said to you in person before, it's all love. I kind of fell into what you were doing. It felt exactly like the kind of thing I wanted to be writing about. And I'm glad to see how things have progressed, even just over the past 5 years. We started Cabbages 5 years ago. You've obviously had a lot happen in that time period. You've had some amazing projects. You've had some great features. Obviously, Chinatown Sound's been a big thing. And so this, to me, feels like an overdue moment because you and I have done interviews for the newsletter. We talked about some stuff. We've obviously reviewed projects in there. But having you on this show, and this is our season finale. So we had to have like you, somebody of your caliber, help us finish out this season. We've been doing 90s movies this whole time. And it's like we got one more 90s movie to go. We got to have BUB STYLES on.
Listen, man, I'm a 90s baby and I love talking shit. So, you know what I mean? I think it's a good connection as well for the finale. Absolutely.
And Gary, you say you fell into BUB's music? Can I only tell you something about another person who fell?
Who fell? Sarah?
Right away in the beginning of this film. I couldn't say no to an easy transition.
That's
if you
fair.
want to continue to call
to
attention the greatness of BUB STYLES, I'm not going to stop it.
We can show love throughout this, but I do want to point out one of the things that I learned because We do research before this. We try to figure out some stuff about this. The original beginning of that movie was not meant to be that way.
Really?
What do you mean?
So like the way this film begins is there's this kind of rescue mission, but it's a little lighthearted, but then somebody dies tragically and it sets a tone. But originally, the opening scene was supposed to be Sylvester Stallone, star of our movie, rescuing a wounded eagle.
What?
In the original, it was he just was showing an act of kindness to animals.
And then he'd be broken down. He'd be broken down for 8 months because of a fallen eagle. I mean, I know they're majestic creatures, but come on, man. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know what the motivation behind it was. This feels like a better choice, even though it was rough to watch her fall.
A lot of falling in this movie. Dog, you know what I mean? I'm lucky I didn't play the game, like take a shot every time somebody falls off a mountain. You know what I mean?
Or a plane. People also thrown off of planes in this motherfucker a lot. Planes fall out of the sky. The sky is the enemy here.
Facts.
We talk about John Lithgow as the enemy, but really and honestly, gravity and the sky are the two most controlling factors of this movie.
That's a fact. And some guns too.
That's what I was going to say.
Guns do play.
A lot of guns in this one.
I'd say the worst drinking game version of this for this movie would be to try to do it for every kill, because there's 17 kills in this movie, which means you're doing some pretty good shots in that situation.
Oh yeah,
this is gonna be a blackout before you get to the end of it.
I'll be fucking wasted, all because of Sylvester.
Exactly. Now, let me ask you a question before we get too much deeper into this movie. What kind of stuff do you usually like to watch? What kind of movies do you usually check out?
I mean, I love movies, man. I've always been somebody that's been like, you know, just really into fucking movies. I can't really say what type, like kind of every type shit. You know what I mean? I've seen Cliffhanger before, but I had to refresh my memory. You know what I mean? It was like when I was a kid. You know, I was 4 years old when it came out, so I probably saw it when I was 7, 8, 9 years old. But I was picking up on shit while I was watching it today. I was like, shit, I remember these motherfuckers, man. So yeah, all types of shit, man. All types of shit. Yeah, we can talk about movies. We can talk about movies all night. You know what I mean?
Jeff, you'd seen this one before too, right?
In its entirety in one sitting, maybe not. But in a general sense, it's been on a bunch, and I feel like I watched every scene, just maybe not in order.
Yeah.
One of those.
For me, it was like I had actually never seen Cliffhanger, which was surprising me because I've seen a lot of Stallone stuff over the years.
Right.
And like I have one of my cousins, I have a cousin whose father is Italian, and so I have this family is like half Cuban, half Italian on that side. He's a huge Stallone fan, has been since he was like small. He's only about a year older than me. So we watched a lot of Stallone stuff. Like I went with him to go see, I think we saw Daylight in theaters. We obviously watched Rocky. Like this was stuff that we were definitely like part of my childhood and into my teens. But I realized this was one I had not seen, interestingly enough. And we did another Stallone movie this season. We did Demolition Man.
Technically, we call it a Snipes movie.
We called that a Snipes movie.
So we could still do another Stallone movie.
But he's in both. And I realized like I'd seen certain Stallone films, but I hadn't seen others. And it was interesting that like this was one that I missed, and I'm kind of surprised because it was
this was 94?
A hit. 93.
93. Yeah. And then when is Demolition?
93, but later in the year.
Huh.
So we get Memorial Day weekend. This one comes out Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
It's #1 for 2 weeks in a row at the box office.
It's pretty big.
Come week 3, Jurassic Park.
Well, then that thing's #1 it might still be #1. I don't know.
It was the #1 movie of the year, but like but I want to point out like a lot of times when we talk about movies on the show, a lot of times we're talking about movies that flopped, didn't do well. This film was not only a successful film, it was in the top 10 highest grossing films of 93. And it also was the beginning of a career comeback for Stallone.
This was a launching pad for him again. Yeah.
He's back to being a star. Like this is like post, because he was doing like the comedies.
There's pre Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
That shit.
Where like what happened was the same thing that happens to like a big time wrestler, where if they're champ for too long, the people begin to be like, we don't want him as champ this long. We need to move on. Like the fans kind of were like tired of him only being threatened by like the main boss and winning all the time, and the same catchphrases and one-liners and zingers. He's the most clever action man in the world, right? They're tired of it. He does Stop or My Mom Will Shoot, which is just like goofy, dumb fun. And he's constantly the butt of the joke, which doesn't happen much in his career, especially up to that point. Yeah. And now he's back with this renewed, like, we can have him lose in the first couple of minutes. Like, we can have him lose this woman to dropping her to her death, which is no fault of his own, I don't think. Just faulty equipment.
No, I mean, dog, but that was my first thought. Like, dog, how you ain't clip it in right, bro?
You right. Is that what happened? Is that it wasn't clipped right?
I mean, nah, you could see it snap, but at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, you're supposed to be rescue mission professionals. Like, you got fucking snapping clips. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then we wouldn't have.
I can kind of blame him there. I want to talk about who's to blame here.
All right.
Because my thing is the guy with the blown out knee that took a date up to the top of a rock and couldn't get her back down is to blame. You brought an inexperienced climber to a wild place and then are like mad at this dude for trying to save her.
That wasn't even your shorty too. It was just some shorty he was trying to like. That's my thing. I was like in the first scene.
They weren't like it wasn't a girlfriend or anything.
Like you could have made it his wife. That would have made him so much that more hurt and all that shit. Like, bro.
No, they're like, this is a new thing. This is like, like I'm thinking maybe third date. He's like, I'm going to take you to the top of a mountain, have a helicopter rescue. And then she's like, are we going to get dinner later? Like, she's still in.
Yeah.
I've taken a shorty to the top of the mountain on a first date. So I guess I could relate, but you know what I'm saying? That's a different story. That's a different story.
But you're right. But the thing is, we're right that she's brand new. This is not a situation where we have, they've been doing this and she's another extreme rock climber. Like, this guy is a trained professional with experience. Michael Rooker, who I always associate with Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. So it's weird for me to see him like in anything resembling a good guy. But the thing that bothers me,
I think about him in Mallrats.
Mallrats is a great one too.
That's like, for me, it took me a second to remember. I was like, I've seen him in a million things.
Yeah.
But there's one in particular, a movie I watched over and over again. That's Mallrats. It took me a while to figure it out.
Definitely. But the part that bothers me about that scene, even when we think about who's to blame here, and there's that, is how little it matters in the course of the movie. It stops mattering about 20 minutes into the movie. It doesn't ever get readdressed. There's no real resolution around it. Here's what happens. This woman falls to her death by accident. We can figure out who's to blame. Again, check your equipment, or maybe don't bring your girl up there on your second date up into a tower, up to the top of a fucking mountain. That's one thing. But like, the thing that gets me is that within that period of time, Stallone leaves town, comes back 8 months later, and just basically to try to get his girl back and to maybe get his stuff. And then
most busted attempt at trying to like convince somebody to go with you is to roll up unannounced after 8 months and be like, hey baby, let's peel. Like, nope, that's not at all. And like, he's trying to like be sensitive about it, but you can't be sensitive when you're saying, okay, I'm back, drop everything, let's get out of here.
He's like, I'm gonna go get my stuff.
Yeah. Like, oh dude, I was actually already packed because I was just waiting for you to get here.
Like, I came back for you. I'm like, what do you mean you came back for you? Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Dude.
Like, you did not come back to other than, I think you probably had like a couple shirts you needed or something in the drawer. Like, there's a watch that your grandfather gave you that you want to make sure you didn't leave in the house. But like, this woman is not for the sentimental. Like, she's doing the same dangerous shit he's doing. She's not some pushover. You can't just roll in and like sweep her off her feet. This is not a damsel in distress situation.
No, she's a badass helicopter pilot who doesn't have time for this shit.
Yeah.
I horse.
I don't like Stallone. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, they got a new horse in 8 months.
Listen, you're just like, where's she going to put that horse?
Yeah.
Have you thought this through at all, Sylvester? No, the answer is no. When that woman died, the real victim was us because we had to watch both Rooker and Stallone act like it was them that fell off the mountain that day. That was the rest of the film. It was like, I know what happened that day. It was a bad day. He actually literally called it a bad time.
It's a bad time.
Like, look, it was a bad time. The other guy's like, don't tell me about bad times.
Like the bad time scene when they're reunited on the mountain, Michael Rooker and Stallone, and they get into it, and Rooker's hold him over the edge, and of course is not going to drop him. But 20 minutes into a fucking movie,
he was much less than 6 feet from the edge.
Yes, and thinking maybe that might be a lot further down. But
he had like half a heel hanging off that thing.
He was like about to that was supposed to be like really stressful, I think.
Yeah.
Because every scene has this thing in it that's like, okay, they're gonna talk for a little while, but shit has got to end with stress. Crazy stress. The whole movie. And it was so many stressful moments that you're just like, I'm not super worried about it. If they die, they die.
But if that scene happens. But that scene happens, and then that's the end of their animosity towards each other. They are now completely redirected towards a brand new enemy. But at the very end, there's no resolution. There's no
action
I forgive you,
to
brother. There's no we're square on this. We're even now. Nothing.
You saw even how he said hello to him?
It's like 2 movies happened.
He jumped up on the thing. He was just like unfazed. Just, what are you doing here? Like, yo. Stallone is over there with mad gear, mad buff. Like, by the way, you know what I'm saying? Every time I saw
and also Stallone, beat him up the mountain.
It was like
with
me
like
looking
a massive
in the mirror.
Head start.
It was like me looking in the mirror every time I saw fucking Sylvester like that in the movie. You know what I mean? Just putting that out there. But nah, he fucking hopped up on this shit and just said, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, damn, yo, how's Sylvester out acting the rest of the cast when Sylvester's known to be the whack actor? At the end of the day, kind of, you know what I mean? At that point, that was, I was like, dog. If I saw Sylvester,
it was a also weird thing.
But not for nothing, wouldn't you be fucking surprised if you were Michael Rooker? This man's been absent for 8 months.
That's my point.
He's back in town, and you get up to mountain, and you get up to a certain point, and there's his motherfucker.
That's my point.
They are communicating back to the place, though, so maybe there was a warning shot sent.
No, I don't think there was any. Man. I didn't get that at all.
Because he was instantly mad.
Yeah. Like
he was like,
what are you doing here?
Like the red flag was waved in front of him. He got bullish.
Yeah.
But like I just wasn't stressed out or worried at all that he was gonna. Obviously, you're not gonna kill Sylvester Stallone. We're 32 minutes into the movie.
He's the star of the fucking movie, and we just got in it.
We're not gonna kill him. So what are we doing here? Just have the conversation. We don't need like the threats. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know. They went out of their way to make Michael Rooker look like a total dick, minus the fact that he didn't just abandon Sylvester Stallone as soon as he could. Other than that, they made him a real dick the whole time.
Yeah.
He dragged a woman to her death.
Yo, he was responsible for like 5 deaths of his peoples in the whole fucking movie. Like every time they're like, relax, everything will be fine if you relax. He's like, run, and then they shoot them like every fucking time. Yo, come on, man! Like
that scene is of a particular. It is of a particular rising anger in me because he walks them toward them, like he walks the enemies toward these like innocent base jumpers and doesn't say shit, and then all of a sudden when they're within shooting range, he's like, run! Dude, if you're going to do that, do it immediately. If you don't care about the consequences, why are we waiting? Did you just think that maybe you should tell them to run? Did it take you that long to like be like, oh man, my friends, I should tell them to run? If you're going to do it immediately. Just do it. And if you die, you die.
And they both die.
Whole thing.
Also,
and
the 2 most relatable people.
He killed at least one of them. The other one we never hear from again.
Well, he was hanging on the shit, right? And then.
Yeah.
They said at some point, the old man, I'm not going to call him Frank. I'm going to call him the old man.
Call him old Frank. He's old Frank.
Old Frank.
The old man gets on the thing.
Radio.
And he says, they shot him in the stomach and he's in the hospital. That's the last thing we hear about him.
Okay.
And And I'm not mad they're not in the film anymore. I'm just like, why did we meet them? Just for them to be shot?
I'm mad they're in the film. I'm mad they're not in the film no more. Most relatable character in Cliffhanger. I was like, yo, that's me and bro jumping off mountains. Like, that was me. Like, you know what I mean? And then they just wiped them out. Come on, man. And they knew all the Rangers.
They're also like some of the only two characters on the good guys side of things that have a personality. What personality does Stallone have in this movie? What personality does Michael Rooker have in this movie? What personality do any of these people on the good guy side? Meanwhile, the bad guys are all personality. It's just caricature after caricature. Like they're like, you can't believe these people. They're absurd. Well, first of all, you've got John Lithgow
let's talk about it.
Doing the British accent. You stupid bastard, or whatever the fuck he's trying to do.
Bastard.
Every time he says bastard,
you stupid bastard.
Like, not for nothing. It's like I really look. I like John Lithgow.
Me too.
And love me some Johnny Lith.
Look, he's an amazing actor, and he's a great character actor. He's a Jonolith, exactly.
Jonolith.
Exactly.
Like
well done.
Well
done. That's a good one. That's a good one. Give you props. That said, you know, I feel like, because it is important to remember that this movie is directed by Renny Harlin, who is the guy who directed Die Hard 2. So we are in a world now at this stage in the 90s where Die Hard has basically opened this door for character actors to follow in Alan Rickman's footsteps, to be the bad guy who's so good in that role that he dwarfs the lead in terms of how good it is. Because when we talk about Die Hard, obviously, you know, Bruce Willis has some great catchphrases and there's some interesting stuff that happens. But like the most interesting shit with Bruce Willis in that movie is the conversation with Reginald VelJohnson. But Alan Rickman steals that movie every single scene as the bad guy. So we're now in a world where Lithgow is looking at it and he directly cites Rickman as why he did the British accent for it. Like, that's why he did it. He's absolutely going that route. Again, you give him a little bit of slack because Lithgow was not originally supposed to be the bad guy.
Really? You know who was?
Oh, I do, yeah. There were two people ahead of him in it. First was David Bowie. That was
I don't think that makes the movie any better.
I don't know what that
I think it makes it weirder.
It makes it weird.
Could make it better through weirdness.
He's got a British accent, so you got that going for you.
Real talk.
But then he doesn't end up working out. He didn't work out. I think they didn't really get to like anything serious with that. But then it was Christopher Walken is supposed to be.
Oh, that would have been.
It's a good film if he's in it.
Different movie.
It would be so much Walken. It'd be a lot of Walken.
Tell me the King of New York.
Damn near running.
Be getting our steps in because there'd be a lot of walking.
Damn near running. Nah, Walken would have been fire in this shit, bro.
Real.
Damn, that would have made it so else there. Even though I love my John.
I'm almost into the fact that like maybe we just don't talk about the real movie anymore. We just talk about what Walken would have done in these situations.
It's the fantasy of it. It's like, wow.
Like think about Walken whispering in his girlfriend's ear right before he kills her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like getting in there and being like, you know what the best part of a relationship is. You know what I mean? And then saying sacrifice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like really delivering that shit.
Yeah, it's like now the pilot's dead. Now I'm your only way off this mountain. Yo, that would
precisely like the lines.
Yes,
the lines that he would have delivered. Like some of those lines are awesome. The way he would have said "stupid bastard."
It would have been.
I'm not even gonna.
It would have been stupid.
Denigrate it with an impression.
No, honestly, Walken changes this movie, but he left like during pre-production, right before this movie starts.
It's the right move because he was going to do something cool, I bet.
And Lithgow was in the film at that point, but he was playing a secondary villain. I don't have the full details, but I think it was supposed to be the FBI agent.
So he got a last-minute promotion.
So basically, he got moved up in the
the
rankings on
FBI.
the call sheet.
You talking about the cop from
The Treasury. He's talking
My
about the
Cousin
Treasury
Vinny?
agent, Travers.
Oh, Travis. All right.
Travers is what happens. Yeah,
I thought you were
the
talking about
FBI
My Cousin
agent.
Vinny cop.
No, the FBI agent is the true hero of this movie. He's the only guy who knew what was going on. It's one of my favorite scenes. It's not a stunt. Is when he's like, "Don't you see what's going on? This guy's hijacking the plane." And then the Treasury guys don't trust him because they don't know him, and then they end up dead real quick.
The number of bullets fired inside of planes
in an airplane,
and the only thing that grounds the plane is shots on the outside of the plane. Like there's just no windows get broken, nothing. They shoot so many bullets. All of them are perfectly aimed not to hurt anything. In the moment, these dudes are just like, if I put it right here, it'll get enough of the skull to where it won't exit and take out a window, even though it would. Absolutely, that's what would happen. Somehow, no problems. One guy goes crazy and just starts firing like this.
Yeah.
They're done. They hits the hydraulics. We're done with this plane. I mean, that's just, what are the odds?
And then everyone survived the crash. Fucking go figure.
That's fucking crazy.
Some people died in the crash. There were.
I can't keep count of how many people were in that crew. So I don't know who died, who lived. Because
the co-pilot. The co-pilot died.
We lost the co-pilot.
Lost the co-pilot.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. And then I think there were there were so many henchmen in this. He had so many, an endless supply of fucking.
There was that dude
henchmen, and they were all badasses.
Like I know there were people, and like obviously there's some of the henchmen stood out more than others, but I had to take notes in my shit to be like, okay, I think this is the one.
It's impossible.
This is the soccer player one, and this is the one with the goatee who was Mac's dad on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. And I had to keep track of this. And
one of the cops is a pretty famous actor.
Yeah.
And then is just immediately shot, no lines.
Immediately. I feel
who was Mac's dad? On Always Sunny. Wait, hold on.
Mac's dad is that's the one that's Gregory Scott Cummins. He plays Ryan. He's the one with the goatee, mustache goatee. I forget how he dies, honestly, because there's the way that some of these guys die is
this fellow.
Was he an Avalanche guy?
I think he's the one who's chasing after Stallone with the night vision. I think that's
he just gets
this fellow right here. Oh, you can't see that.
So I can't really see that.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this fellow.
But I started looking these people up, and I'm like, that's the guy. That's the guy.
That's the fucking guy.
And I'm like, oh, that's fucking Mac's dad from It's Always Sunny. Okay, all right, that's cool. So the only ones who really stand out is Leon, because obviously we know him from stuff he's David Ruffin to me, and he will be David Ruffin forever from that. But he's also from Above the Rim, and he's in Cool Runnings, and he's been in so many things. He stands out. But honestly, there's just a whole crew of dudes who I'm like, all right, okay, you've got a British accent. The worst part about Lithgow having such a bad British accent is there's an actual English fucking.
There's a dude just standing there,
right there, fucking eating his lunch.
Say what you will about Lithgow's character.
Mm-hmm.
But his army building skills were pretty great. He had a kind of munitions expert. They could all shoot. For an action movie, nobody could shoot in action movies, but they could shoot to kill.
Mm-hmm.
Several pilots, lots of different skill sets, lots of different styles of beating people up. There's some kind of kung fu-iness in one of them, and another dude's just got brute strength. They're impatient criminals. They don't like operating by plan, but otherwise, pretty incredible crew.
I mean, because think about it like this: a lot of movies that you've seen, how many crews of villains who have specific skill sets, how many of them do you think survive just the mountain conditions? That's already a high bar to get past, and these guys were not planning on being on mountain hikes for a day, overnight.
And I'm gonna, it's weird because you can also flip it on its head. For how good the crew was assembled, they have the worst plans of all time.
Ever. You said that they were impatient villains. That was the most patient gun to the heading I've ever seen in my life. It'd be and now you die. 6 seconds later.
Like the Jeopardy theme is fucking playing.
When you're ready, when you're ready.
Like it's just fucking doo.
Very patient, right?
There are several times in this where whatever the problem is, they could have just killed that person right then and there. Moved on. But they get into these arguments, and then that person dies for another stupid reason. Yeah. And like the first plane scene was very confusing. I was confused by the movie. I got a little confused on who was up to what.
Yeah.
When on the plane, because people just started getting capped. People we hadn't met just started getting capped like this was some nefarious plot. But I'm like, you just like capped you just shot a bunch of random people basically.
Co-pilot gets shot. Like, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah, like, and all at the same time, he's like, oh, gunshots. That's my cue. Gun. That was my cue to kill this guy that like I could have just. I don't know. There's a part where they're like the FBI guy's like, I want to ride along with you guys, and he's like, sure, knowing full well he's gonna die
right away.
We're gonna kill this man.
No hesitation.
And that means we've got to kill these cops too.
Yeah. I mean, look, we got no issue with law enforcement ending up dead in movies. That's okay by me. I've got no problem with that. Shit. But what I just find really interesting is like the way that is set up and dealing with when you're like, oh, this has to be done because what's going to happen next is the plan. And the plan is so insane that shooting fucking semi-automatic weapons in a plane no longer feels insane because this plan is the craziest fucking thing I've ever fucking heard. We're going to get 2 planes to fly at the same speed, close enough together where we can get a winch across so that we can send down briefcases full of money and human beings.
Seems totally reasonable.
Listen, I've just hijacked a plane. Hijacked a plane. Why are you in such a hurry to leave that like you can't like land, make a transfer, and peace out?
They couldn't transfer that on land.
Whoever sees you is like, what's going on? You're like, here is 2 crisp $1,000 bills, and hand them to him, and the guy will be like, have a wonderful evening.
Especially in 93?
Or whatever. Yeah. Like, yeah, man. I mean, you just killed like 100 fucking people or whatever.
Look.
What's one more?
We
land somewhere and make this exchange. I don't understand this.
I'm just saying, we all saw Con Air, so we know that there is a way to do this type of shit on the ground. We don't have to do this shit in the air.
You don't have to.
Like, if this was Michael Mann, if this was fucking Miami Vice, with the fucking cigarette boats, they would figure out ways to do things that make sense. These guys' plan is completely bonkers. It is ridiculously dangerous and requires more than I think we can reasonably assume that these people are capable of. The fact that it works in any way whatsoever is fucking amazing to me. And the fact that
mention, this is what was it? Unspendable currency. What was the word term?
It was called, I'm going to make sure I get it right. It was unexchangeable denominations.
Yeah.
Oh,
so unexchangeable denominations. $1,000 bills. Write that down because that's actually
an album right there.
$1,000 bills. Keep in mind they stopped circulating $1,000 bills in the 1930s in this country.
Is that right?
Like they stopped printing them in 1930s. I don't know about circulation, but 1930s when they stopped printing this.
I mean, I could see that in like 1930. If you're walking around with $1,000 bill, you're just like, kill me.
I mean,
that's more money than God.
It's like you're Rockefeller at that point.
You could buy houses for that.
The first thing when they fucking opened the briefcase of the $1,000 bills, I was like, yo, where do I get my hands on some of these fucking things?
I need a $1,000 bill.
My very first thought. And I even looked it up and I was like, oh no, they're worth way more than $1,000. Because they're so rare. You know what I mean?
They're extremely rare,
yeah. So it's like the rarity thing. I mean, I was kind of just confused by what's in them. And obviously what happens to the money over the course of this is, certainly interesting. If you have that kind of, you're burning it, you're throwing it into the avalanche, like it's all fucking
I was
everything's going
like, I definitely thought at the end of the movie that he was gonna be with his shorty and she was gonna be like, too bad we didn't have a little bit. He was like, that's what you think, and take out like a little stack on the side. Yo, I thought that was 100% what the closing scene would be.
He's too good a person.
Honestly, no, honestly, like that would have at least been an ending to this fucking movie.
Yeah, there was no ending.
Because like it's like, oh, so he's just a big Boy Scout. That's what he's just a big Boy Scout.
That's the whole point of the movie, is that he's a Boy Scout.
What's more fucking boring than a 40-something-year-old Boy Scout?
This was why everyone was bored with him. Because it was always like truth, honor, justice. It was like Hulk Hogan level shit.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was seriously like 20 straight years of like, I'm on top. I'm the star. We're going to do it the American way. And everyone was just like, dude, Bruce Willis is
damn, get the sticky fingers a little bit, man. Fucking crazy.
Go, have some fun.
Oh, man. You do everything for the
somebody
good
out you're not supposed to.
Take your little reward, man.
It would not have required.
So he returned to the
a little bit.
Returned to the Boy Scout role. Thing is, the next film, which was
Demolition
Man, it was better, and it was
like because his personality to that character in that movie versus this one, right? The whole thing is he's just a Boy Scout, which is why as sadistic and like cruel as some of these like bad guy henchmen are in this movie, it's like it really just like makes this so black and white, good and evil, that you're like, the good guys don't feel like real people. Like
nobody feels real in this at all.
No, but like it makes it all feel fake. And like the reference they have for old Frank, like when they spend so much time being like, we love you, old Frank. Oh, we think you're the best. And I'm like, I know he was like on the Waltons and shit, but like there's nothing that says anything other than the fact that he's just an old man who flies a helicopter. When he dies, it's like, how could you just? I'm like, I don't know. I mean, of course someone has to die on your side.
They've been killing people left and right. The second he got in the helicopter, I was like, man, the old man's dead.
Old fucking Frank.
He's done.
Although I gotta ask you a question though, like, what did you think of his art with the banana eating a monkey?
Very abstract. Really just real interesting stuff with that fucking banana.
I was into it too. I thought it was cool.
That was cool. That was way cooler than I thought it would be for an old fucking man in 1993.
I like the banana being sort of kind of represented as a mouth, like it's about to like envelop a whole monkey, but it's like scattered throughout that side of the painting.
Mm-hmm.
So the banana is sort of this like all-encompassing being. I really liked the painting. I was confused by the movie.
But the painting is the painting is the only aspect of old Frank where we learn anything about his personality other than the fact that he's old. That's the only thing we learn about this guy. Because
the painting kind of, you can infer some things, but it doesn't outright tell you anything other than he's old, he paints, he's still working for some reason.
But did you guys notice that in every scene where he's not talking, his like the looks on his face and the reaction shots are fucking demented.
Really?
That man is like
when they're in
the helicopter when they're trying to get her across and it doesn't happen. Like he's looking at it. Like Michael Rooker looks like he's like concerned about the state of his, of his two-time girlfriend or whatever. And fucking old Frank is staring at this thing like making these faces like grimaces.
Wait,
like,
what did he do? Like, what did he do?
He's like that.
Just make it short.
Yeah, it's just a pure grimace. It's like, and every time you see his face, it just looks like he's like wearing some sort of like fucking death mask. I don't understand it. Like his character is so confusing to me. When he dies, I'm like, yeah, fine. We lose some people. Got it. Whatever. It's fine. We didn't know Frank. We did not.
The Archie type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like there was a scene where like what's the woman from Northern Exposure who plays Stallone's girlfriend or wife or whatever the fuck she's supposed to be. I honestly don't know. Janine Turner, when she makes some sort of comment to try to convince him to fly her up, Frank to fly her up to the mountain to see where Rooker is. Like when she says that, she like makes a flirtatious comment at him.
And she uses the wiles.
And he turns around for a moment, like almost like he's about to take her up on that offer. And like it gets weirdly horny for like a split second, and I'm like, this is
Then smash cut there on the north side of the mountain.
Thank fucking God, because I don't want to know where that movie was about to
go. That's in the deleted scenes.
That's a stunt right there. My
God. You got that right. Took it at the top of a mountain on the top of a mountain. You never seen shit like that.
Never. But we got to talk about the stunts, because that's the stunt that we talked about before with the two planes and the cases across. Like, that is like the most expensive aerial stunt in movie history. Maybe Mission Impossible had figured it out by now and they've beaten it, but that has gone down in history as if not the most expensive aerial stunts. It cost.
Wait, which one was it?
Where they're bringing the cases across the two planes.
The two planes.
So not only is it a stupid plan that was destined to fail in the movie, they also spent all their money on it.
How much you think it cost? How much you think that cost? I'll tell you. I know the number.
$93.
What do you think?
$38 million.
Now it costs $1 million to get this pay the stuntman to do this. He has no harness. He has no protection. This is a pro. This guy Simon.
The stuntman that was
a fucking pro.
The agent that went across.
Yeah, who went across. The guy who did that, Simon Price, is British stuntman. Like, he's been in like everything. This is somebody who's a fucking legend. But they paid this man $1 million out of Stallone's fucking cut of the movie. Out of his stuff, they took $1 million away from Stallone to pay for this moment, and it is insane and stupid. But it's also like, it is historic. It's
a wild thing, but like, it's very short, and it's like very kind of pointless. Like, they have, like, after he goes across the thing into the plane, everyone stands around and was like, why did you do, like, everyone has to stand around like, why did you do that?
Why didn't you put the bags down first?
Because I think that you would kill me. And they're like, right, just bring the bags over. Yeah. Like, the bags are the most important thing, and he left them in the hands of a bungling idiot who gets shot and thrown out of the plane.
With a bomb about to go off on the plane.
You could tell that they had to come up with the line about because I feel you would have killed me if I sent the bags first. Like, they had to come up with that just to make anything make sense.
Why would he do? That's a great question. Why would you slide between two planes? That's crazy.
First. Because he was waiting for the pilot to do it. Little did he know.
They filmed most of this movie, got filmed, even though it's supposed to take place in Colorado. Most of this film is filmed in Italy, in the mountains in Italy.
Really?
Legally, they were not allowed to shoot that scene in Europe. They had to shoot in the US. Regulations allow for that there. Then you have to have two planes moving at 150 miles per hour, or whatever the fucking it is. They move at like 150 miles per hour. They're 15,000 feet in the air. They got to be moving at the same speed to do all this and to be able to get this guy go across. And it's like, I'm going to say this, the stuntman didn't even make it all the way across. They had to edit it in such a way so it looks like it is, but he made it a certain way. I mean, that's a hell of $1 million payday, but like, in a movie that starts with somebody falling to their death off a mountain, and that's the real life stunt you do, that's fucking crazy. And for what?
Right, you could have done anything, right?
For the story?
That's what I'm saying, is that it's something they spent all that money on and like made it look that cool, but the shot is from an airplane way above. He does the thing, and then they're like, all right. Bring the money across, I guess, then.
They could have landed on an airfield somewhere, moved between two planes. They could still have the other plane explode. Why not? And then
if he had done that, like, that was part of his plan, was to like surprise them and end up on their plane by like jumping across like that or sliding across like that, then it's sick. But instead it was just like, oh, it was something they were going to do. Oh, this sucks. Why did we even have this scene?
But it's no choice. They burned so much money on this movie.
The
so much
FBI
money.
guy wakes up, right? That's the guy that wakes up and kills everybody.
Yeah, the FBI guy wakes
up from being shot, because that's how that works.
Yeah. Right.
He wakes up,
the one that was
he
like,
and he gets the big gun, and he like puts a hard body count Like he kills like 4 people from one plane to another firing bullets.
Yeah. Amazing.
What a badass.
He's a marksman.
That's the one hero. That's the hero of the movie. But I want to bring up another aspect of how this movie spent a lot of, because obviously $1 million you pay to a stuntman to do that scene.
Sure.
And then you've got to pay everybody to be there. Film.
Yeah, this was an expensive film, if I remember.
Hugely expensive.
Yeah.
But then, like, so there's the scene with the bunny. We got to talk about the bunny incident because that's another great example of how they waste money in this movie. So originally, that bunny scene where the bunny is wearing the device, and so that he's using for the tracking. So the Traver's about to lose his fucking mind over it. Starts shooting at the bunny.
His bunny
original test audiences, the bunny's dead. They shoot the bunny.
They didn't like it.
They hated it.
They didn't like
so
it.
So Stallone put up $100,000 of his own money to do a reshoot where the bunny lives.
No fucking way, bro.
$100,000. This is why this movie cost $70 fucking million to make.
Because of the bunny?
Because there's only one movie star in this thing. I mean, like John Lithgow, to his credit, yes, was doing stuff, but he's not a lead. You know, he'd done plenty of stuff.
He wasn't even supposed to be.
And he wasn't even supposed to be the lead, so like it wasn't even like bankable that way. But like and Michael Rooker is not that guy either. You know, he's done like Sea of Love and Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. He's not that guy. $70 million is because they're making choices like this.
The main enemy of this movie, there's something about it that really bothers me. Mm-hmm. That he's like, his only characteristic is being ruthless. There's nothing else about, like, even when we learn, like, oh, he's like banging this hench woman. Good. He's doing something other than just like plotting this terrible crime that seemingly wouldn't matter in the first place.
He has an interior life.
And he shoots her. So all we're to believe is that he's just like diabolical. That's it. That's the only thing he ever does, is just be a dick.
Is there not a benefit to having 2 people who can fly in this situation? Is there not a benefit?
There's wild benefits to these people surviving that he just is. You know, this one guy gets shot and he's like, he's got gear on and everything. We're like, throw him off the side. We don't have time to take care of anybody. We're about to crash. Why would, like, you're about to crash anyway?
That's one
it's just like needlessly reprehensible.
Listen, man.
Like, we dealt with this in 187 too.
Yeah, that's another one too.
Needlessly reprehensible people. We were like, all right, I get it. They're evil, man. I got it. They don't care about anything but money.
Well, like this like the two henchmen who get like to have monologues.
Yeah.
Beyond that, so Leon, when he's in there in the cave in the crevasse trying to
fire.
Yeah. With the fucking
I was like the best
one of the best
scene in the whole movie.
For sure the best scene in the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Like he gets to talk. He gets to fucking talk his talk. You get to see some real action in there. It's fucking exciting. There's peril. I mean, obviously you know that Stallone's going to survive because it's early enough in the film. But you're like, wait, this is fucking serious. This is like a real deal.
Beat the shit out of him. Yo, and then his whole shit. The only thing that gets between a man and his money and his bitch. I was like, oh. I actually marked it down on my phone. I'm about to sample that for sure.
You
hell yeah.
That's prime cuts.
I was
right
like,
there.
oh, damn, with the bloody teeth and all that. Come on, man.
And then flip that over to the soccer player guy who's just doing a play-by-play while he's pummeling Rooker for no reason. What has Michael Rooker done to this man other than be there to get him some money?
You know, the only thing that happens really between them in the entire movie, there's some like tussling when they're, you know, holding a gun to his head, maybe a little bit. But like, this is the only thing he did. He kind of turned to him and was like, I want to fight, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, them fighting's words. And he then like lets out all of his anger from the mission on this dude who has a knife and decides to use it at the last possible second.
Only last possible second.
What a good time though.
I mean, listen. Any later,
he got the knife from Frank.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, he got a Frank.
But he it sits in his thing and he doesn't use it until he's gotten the ever-living piss kicked out of him.
Oh God.
And it somehow in this movie, everyone who gets punched in the face, they're fine.
Right.
There's like, you see blood splatter, it doesn't matter. There's no wound. Their face is perfectly fine the next scene. It's just not something you have to worry about.
But also, like, if you take the beatings that these guys take in certain scenes, Stallone in the cave, Rooker on the mountainside, like, you're not just walking away, from it, but like you're also going to continue to be an action hero. These guys, we learn no background about Stallone or Rooker in terms of like, are these guys fucking former Green Berets or some shit? These guys fucking Navy SEALs? Like, they just seem like they're guys who've been trained to fucking mountain climb rescue.
They're just really good mountain climbers.
They're not trained to fucking do the kind of warfare that these guys are. These guys are fucking mercenaries. Like,
that was
I don't like the skill sets don't match up. Like,
both of them, to the credit of the film, both of them, when faced with dudes who could fight, got shit kicked out of them.
They did.
Like, he had to get real inventive to take out the karate master, and then my guy had to pull a knife on the soccer man. Because Soccer Man was beating his ass every way till Sunday. Rooker got handled.
Oof. I can't.
One round, this thing is over.
So does Stallone.
Stallone got his face brutally kicked in.
I've been in a couple of those.
Yeah, but like, you don't just walk away and also
you fought around burning money in a crevasse.
Yep. Goddamn right.
Honestly,
that's the only thing I fight for. Goddamn it.
Can I be honest?
You got to bring that up earlier in the pod if you're going to just. You don't want to drop that now.
Exactly.
Listen, I've lived a fruitful life. What do you want from me?
I was going to say, of just about any guest we've had on the show, I'd say this is credible. This is credible. I feel like we don't always have somebody going like.
I certainly don't doubt.
Sometimes you got to beat somebody up in a crevasse. You know what I mean? Past the crevassier, you heard? That's it.
Exactly.
That's it.
Shit.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Absolutely. So like, I feel like
Busta Rhymes.
No, look, there's a beauty to kind of talking about this and having some experience to be able to go through. So I respect that. You can look at it and be like, I feel seen on this screen. I feel like, oh yeah, I've been there. We who hasn't been there? Who hasn't been in the crevasse getting fucking
you know what I mean?
the shit kicked out of them or kicking the shit out of somebody? Very
Lord knows I have.
Appreciate it. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, I mean, look, there's so many things to talk about this movie. There's so many things we can talk about with this movie. And I feel like one of the things we got to bring up is that this is one of those really rare movies where it was nominated for Razzies and Oscars. And that
Oscars
almost
was there a best cliffhanger category?
Best cliffhanger category? No, that's not the Oscars. Not for it. No, okay. It is. We got a couple of these. So first of all, in the Oscars, it's nominated for three things: best sound, best sound editing, and best visual effects.
Fair enough.
So the beginning of that is we've got
as long as the sound doesn't include that cartoon ass score.
Yeah, well, that's not part of that. No. Trevor Jones is from the score. The ripoff of, I think it was his like Last Mohican score that he did. Yeah. I think it's like based entirely off of that. The real phoned in score. No.
The first of the mountain climbers.
Those three technical Oscar categories, guess what it loses to? Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park.
Which is winning fucking everything. Really? Like, I mean, who's beating Jurassic Park in fucking technical categories of that? We shook the movie theater shook with the dinosaurs. Like, you're winning sound design. You're doing fine there. But the Razzies, it was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Screenplay,
well, that's fair.
Worst Supporting Actor, Lithgow.
Yeah.
And Worst Supporting Actress, Janine Turner. And they lost.
Janine? Really? Yeah. They went after Janine?
She was not good in this movie, man.
She wasn't good, that's true. But let's like, what was she working with? Literally, like she's supposed to like entertain the fact that this guy just rolls back into town after 8 months having not spoken to her, obviously.
And all she says is deadpan. What are you doing here?
And she like embraces him and is like cooing in his arms and is like, "So are you sticking around?" He's like, "Oh no, oh Lord, no, no. I was here to collect you."
Yeah.
Another
like a
relatable moment.
possession.
Another relatable moment.
It just happens all the time. I'm always just collecting old women.
Yeah,
collecting old women. Wow,
it's a pastime.
That's a statement. So it loses in the Razzies too, because this is also the same year as Indecent Proposal.
It sure is.
And that is a movie that is we definitely avoided that this season. I'm proud of us for not doing that movie because that's a
You're proud of us for that?
I'm mad. That's a mess. That's a mess right there.
But it was like everywhere in the 90s.
Yes, but it was
a critical mess and people hated it or whatever, and I get that.
People went and saw it. It made money.
It made money, and it was in every spoof for like 10 years. Has some sort of reference.
Is this
podcast like over everything?
Is this podcast like for bad movies?
A lot of times it is, yeah. We do.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
We don't often. I would say this: we don't often do a good movie.
Right.
This might be the second time a movie on here has been nominated for an Oscar.
There's only a handful of times that we've actually had any.
Even if it was sound design.
12 Monkeys.
We did 12 Monkeys this season.
And Street Smart, and that might be it. And Street Smart's not an incredible movie by any stretch of the imagination.
Have you ever seen Street Smart? I'm curious.
Wow.
Street Smart is Morgan Freeman's like his breakout. He was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in it. He plays a pimp who antagonizes Christopher Reeve, who's a journalist who is not particularly ethical. And it is, I will highly recommend that to you as a fucked up New York movie. It's like it's a
fucked up New York movie.
It's a fucked up New York movie, and it is like you gotta like. I want you to keep when you do watch it. And I hope you do. You watch Street Smart, and you watch what his character does in that movie. Just think about like within 2 years, he's doing Driving Miss Daisy.
Right. Well, like, that's what a good actor, right? That's what makes a good actor.
Exactly. The range is incredible because he plays the kind of like he plays the pimp that's just like, oh shit, this is real now. Oh, this isn't like some stupid goofy shit. This is not fucking. We're not watching some Pootie Tang sort of fucking spoof. No, you're watching like this. This is a man who. I
feel like Morgan Freeman be pimping hoes when he's on like doing voiceovers for National Geographic and shit. You know what I mean? Like
he's doing March of the Penguin. It's like like grab me a coffee, baby. Yeah,
exactly. It's like these penguins didn't know what they had coming to them. Big Johnny was about to smack the shit out of them right on the corner. Oh shit!
Highly recommend if you want to see a fucked up movie and also really see Morgan Freeman act his fucking ass off. That's the one. I wish we had a villain like Morgan Freeman in this movie.
That would be dope. We did have one, I think, decent villain.
And which is your favorite? What's your
he didn't get enough time, and he didn't get enough of like the control of the film.
Okay.
But I thought the Treasury dude, especially when he has a mental breakdown.
Travers, yeah.
Yeah, on the like walkie-talkies, on the radios. He was good. And like he was trying to carry this squad to the money. Like he was like on task, was like, let's go get the money. Stop fucking around. Let's just go get the money. And then was genuinely perplexed. And finally at the end says what we're all saying. He looks into the camera almost and says, we got beat by two dudes, just two regular, like they're just mountain climbers. Yeah. They're not cops. They're not Navy SEAL. Like you said before, they're none of those things. They're just dudes who know how to climb a mountain. And they beat these like wildly skilled, crazy individuals who are like goal-oriented and focused. You know what I mean? And they beat them pretty solidly. Yeah. They fooled them. They ran circles around them. They killed them. They snapped necks. They threw people off a mountain. It was crazy.
They blinded
a dude.
Heistmen. Armed international heistmen. Come on, man.
And he, like the people watching the movie, like has a full meltdown. It's like, how? How is it happening? I don't give a shit. The guy's like, don't use my name on the radio. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what the hell I want. I don't care anymore. We're screwed. There's no more money. Like, how we're just going to jail. I'm gonna go kill this dude. Or die trying.
Yeah,
That's
like,
it.
my last thing, I'm just gonna go
And I
and
was
hunt
like,
this man down.
That's the most realistic thing this movie produced at any point. Like, it's really realistic for one dude in the script to be like, enough of these mountain climbers. They keep killing us. Oh.
Inadvertently, he becomes the voice of the audience in that scene. Where we're just
Absolutely.
like, enough of this fucking shit.
Enough.
Like,
and we're at that point, we're like 2
here?
hours in.
Oh yeah.
And like, I felt the length of this movie.
Oh.
I was very tired by the end both times. Like, please.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
Just. And then the end is the guy being like, all right, we'll come back and get you.
Bye.
Yo, I couldn't believe when the credits were rolling, bro. I was like, is there like a deleted scene at the end of some shit? Like,
no problems.
Like, we got people on the way.
Our main characters are solved. No problems are solved. Nobody grows. He got his bitch back or becomes different. Did he? We don't even get a kiss.
We don't even get that.
They're standing way apart from each other at the end on a rock.
Yeah.
Just being like, bye, dude. Thanks. We'll just hang out here. That's it. That's the movie. Like, we don't know if he's like, I'm going to stay, I'm going to go. We don't know if she'll accept either one of those answers or go with him, or we don't know anything about like the forgiveness level between the two dudes.
I don't think Sylvester
All we know is they won.
At this time, we're really focused on character development. You know what I mean?
No, that's a fair point.
It was like, how much shit can blow up?
That's a fair point.
How many people could get shot? How many fucking pectorals can we show in this fucking movie to fucking make up for the $70 million? And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, they know. I think they know what they have.
They bring him in cold as hell. They bring him into a place cold as fuck, and then from the rest of the movie, he has like an additional layer and is fine.
Like, he's got like thermal gear that they remove from him. He never gets it back. Never. He gets like a fucking long john from the 1950s out of a display case and wears that for the rest of the movie. There's an entire scene when when Travers is punching him down, where he is under the ice in water. I'm like, how does hypothermia work? How does hypothermia work?
Well, yeah, but then also in the next scene, he's totally dry.
Totally dry.
In the very next scene,
perfectly fine. Totally dry. Ready to roll. He's ready to go on a date.
Yo, come on, man.
And listen, he jumps into that water after the living Dickens gotten beat out of him.
Yeah.
And he's like falling down a bunch of things, he fell down a crevasse.
Flash a gun through though.
And was just
that was cool. But that was cool though. Him shooting the gun through the ice. I appreciated that. Even though
it was a good kill. This it's easier to love this movie if you just watch it like a horror film.
I think if you watch,
there's lots of kills. There's weird, random ways people get killed, and the plot doesn't really matter all that much. And the women are kind of there to be pretty and then fuck things up.
If you watch this movie like your frontal lobe is removed, then you're good.
Yeah,
you're just like the Janine's character. I'll just call her Janine. She watches and is like trying to warn the old man, like, don't land the helicopter. Then they just like have to deal with some other shit.
Yeah.
And then when she sees the helicopter again, at no point does she think, oh, maybe that's being operated by somebody different now, because who knows what happened after I turned my back on the helicopter? Right. Who knows? She's like, Frank, what's up, Frank? Hi. And then is like scared to death.
Dumb.
There's a helicopter there. Like, he needs to still land and kidnap her. And she's an expert climber. And she's
pointing this gun in the cockpit of this helicopter. Not a cockpit.
Like,
helicopter.
Like, you're in a helicopter. You gotta take care of the helicopter.
She could probably run. She could probably
I'm
run.
out of here.
Run.
Come climb with me, motherfucker. I've been doing this my whole life.
Like, we're supposed to assume she's a professional at this, right?
I'm a pro.
Oh.
See ya.
Also, when the fucking
and if he chases her, then she comes back around to the helicopter because she can fly it.
God.
Also, when you see Travers, when you see who you think is what's his name? That the soccer guy kills him, right? You think that soccer guy kills him?
Yeah.
He didn't see that was clearly not his man. Like that was clearly his man's falling off the shit. He just left them 5 minutes. Like
it's perplexing the choices that are made.
He said I should have do
in that situation.
Like, that was your whole man's right there. Right.
Nobody notices this shit.
Come on, bro.
It's like, and they were like ready to make a sequel, like right away. So they had Cliffhanger 2. It was, I think.
That was long rumored to happen because it made money.
They made money. Like it made like $80-something million in the US, but like when you add in worldwide, it was like it made $250,000.
The end makes you think that there's more to come.
Yeah,
from these people.
It's a story.
It does. Yeah.
They were making a sequel. They were going to make a sequel like for '94. They were already going to start it in '94. It was going to be based in the Hoover Dam, and they were going to fight terrorists in the Hoover Dam. That was what it was going to be. That was the sequel.
That was going to be so much better than the original.
And the Hoover Dam.
The Hoover
Guaranteed that's going to be way better.
It was going to be like Cliffhanger 2, The Dam or some shit. Like that's what it was going to be. But
wait, had Hoover Dam come out by then?
The song by Husker, by the Sugar song?
By Sugar?
Yeah, by then it had been out, yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So you would have a song for the soundtrack and everything. But
we were ready.
Not so here's the thing that's kind of part of the big problem with this is that the company behind this movie, the independent film company, Carol Co., had a lot of money troubles. And so that was part of some of the issues. They lost some people in pre-production. It's probably why Walken ended up not being part of the project. Like they were funny with the money. And you end up with a situation where it comes time to make the sequel. And this is a studio that made like movies that you and I love. Like Total Recall, fucking Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Like they did a bunch of Stallone things. They did First Blood, Rambo First Blood Part 2. Like these was like they did Basic Instinct. Like this is a studio that was doing really well. And then they did a really bad movie after with a huge financial box office flop. Cutthroat Island. Renny Harlin, same director, comes back for 1995. And that film loses with Gina Davis, Renny Harlin's wife, in there with Matthew Modine. That movie loses so much money for them that they have to file for bankruptcy. And that's it. Carol Co's done.
Well, for that one movie?
That one movie killed them. They were already in trouble, but that one movie killed them. So the sequel doesn't happen.
Shit can't.
Fucking 2008 rolls around. Stallone, now feeling emboldened because he brought back Rocky Balboa. He brought back Rambo for the Rambo movie.
He did.
He's like, all right, we're going to do Cliffhanger 2 now. And they were in development. There were conversations. They had directors. They had people that. At the end of the day, Cliffhanger 2 is coming out like this year.
17 years later?
It is not Cliffhanger 2. It is.
Wait, okay. You just said it was Cliffhanger 2.
It's a reboot. It's a reboot. Stallone is not involved.
Cliffhanger the new class.
It's Lily James and
Cliffhanger's the college years.
Pierce Brosnan. It's like a totally different thing.
Pierce Brosnan.
They just making a movie again.
Is he the? Oh man, is he going to play the old man?
I hope.
Is he playing old Frank?
I hope he's playing Lithgow.
Yeah, Lithgow. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I want to believe he's the terrorist. I want to believe so badly it's going to be him, but I don't know. They started filming this thing October last year. So we're going to see another Cliffhanger movie, and we'll probably see it before this year ends. No, Stallone is out. He's not part of this anymore. He's nothing to do with that shit. But look, I think it's better that Stallone isn't part of this. I think it's like, let's just be done with it, because Stallone has one of my favorite movies of this year already under his belt.
Better. It's better without Stallone?
Yes, because it's better that we don't have to appreciate this, to actually take this movie seriously. Because what do we get from Stallone instead
this year? Take it seriously? It's called Cliffhanger.
But what did we get from Stallone this year? What did we get from Stallone this year? What did we get from him this year?
He wasn't in Friendship, so he wasn't in the best movie of the year.
He was the screenwriter behind...
Oh, right.
Working Man. You seen A Working Man with Jason Statham?
We went to the theater for that one. That movie. I'm on a Statham's in it. I'm going to the theater vibe.
Jason
That's what's
Statham.
These movies are
wrote
so
the fucking
dumb and
screenplay.
wonderful.
Oh, it's fucking brutal.
It's good.
It's so dumb.
So good. Like, but it's like insane. It's like insane.
Yeah.
Like it's like human trafficking, Russian mob stuff. Just so many people get fucking killed in crazy ways.
Yeah.
Statham is like fucking like he's like a Green Beret with like a Navy SEAL like on the top
he's
of his
like
fucking head. He's like everything.
He's like
rolled into
Captain
one.
America, but British for some reason.
Yeah, he's Captain Britain.
Like
now.
he was on both sides in the war. Like he fought for the British and the Americans. It's so fucking dumb.
It's so dumb.
I
but
love
like,
it. I loved it with my whole heart.
You have to appreciate on some level, like Stallone writes these screenplays. Like he wrote Rocky, he wrote Rambo. He's written most of the screenplays of these sequels or has co-writing credits on all of these things. Expendables, that's him too. Like he's got ideas, but he makes some silly shit with it.
Have you seen his the doc about him?
Well, Sly, I haven't seen Sly. No.
About Stallone, right?
Yeah. So I haven't seen it, but I think it's called Sly, right?
I'm not sure. It was like on. My girl had it on, and I was just watching it.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like that was like his main shit. Is that he's like, I'm an artist. Like I'm a fucking screenwriter. Like I'm a fucking artist, and I'm a movie buff, and like this is like I want to be like complex, but like the whole fucking industry was like, all right, give us some more muscles, goddamn it. And then that's when he kind of fell into that crazy depression after the Rockies and shit like that, or what you're talking about, he's making all these goofy fucking movies. It was because, and then he went into this major depression and he almost quit making movies altogether and said, who knows, whatever, that's his word. But, you know what I mean? That's like, then you get shit like fucking Cliffhanger. And like,
the era before this, just before, was Tango and Cash. And that is like
all that,
the pinnacle. Like every single piece of dialogue in that is a one-liner built off of the line before it. It's all macho one-liners. Terry Hatcher's in it.
Yeah.
She's doing the same shit basically.
Good.
Nobody is speaking to one another per se. There's literally a dick measuring contest in the beginning. They're like, they look at each other's dicks.
That's crazy.
And both are like,
you sure that was the right movie?
Like they have equal.
Tango and Cash. Yeah.
Tango and Cash. Like this is
a
real ass thing. That shit happened in the movie. They look at each other while they're peeing and go,
"My God." Hey there, Jeff.
Oh, hi, Gary.
You know, like
I know thinking about cliffhanging.
Yeah, I mean, like I know I brought up the hypothermia thing when we talked with BUB Styles. Sort of like this, like when you've been outside for a while, like your face gets red and stuff. Like nobody in this film like seemed like they ever got like cold. Like it does seem like they were just themselves. Like clearly they'd come out of a trailer or whatever. But like you don't even get the physical impression these people are suffering through the freezing cold. It's like what?
It depends on what side of the mountain you're on. There's one side that gets the prevailing winds.
No, not this.
If you looked at the key that I sent you earlier, it explains.
Stop sending me that thing. You said they texted me like 4 times today. Let me send it to you
because I feel like it's gotten out of the thing since we last talked. Oh no, it was the last thing I just sent you. So no big deal. Kidding me? Here's the thing: if you're on one side of the mountain and it's very cold and you're in the prevailing winds, the wind is going to be, that's the side of the mountain they were on when there was an avalanche. Then you don't really see nearly as much snow because they end up, the expert climbers, hold on, the expert climbers led them around to the leeward side where they were less in danger from the prevailing winds.
I don't want to do this anymore. This is exhausting. Like we did it. We talked.
You brought it up.
We're good. This is the end. This is the end. We're good, man. I'm done.
What do you mean the end? What are you talking about? The end? The end?
Look, we've been doing this. Like it's over. Like, well, at least enjoy your summer. Like, just go fucking enjoy your summer. That's it. Like this is the finale. We're good. We're good.
We didn't even know this was gonna be finale. This is finale.
Finale. Enjoy yourself. We're done. Don't need to worry about this shit anymore. Don't need to explain anything to me. We're gonna be fine.
Oh no.
We're gonna have a great summer. A great summer. Don't worry about it. I'll see you in the fall, maybe. Maybe.
It's the Cabbages Podcast Network.